Welcome back, everybody, to more from the SAbleyes. I'm here today with Blake. How are we doing, Blake?
I'm doing well, thanks, Mitch.
That is good. Yeah, doing better than I am. I've still got my rickety old voice, but that's okay. We'll continue our look at some decks from Unified Minds this week, or this day today. My brain isn't working. Today, we're going to get over the fact that we spent yesterday playing stall by playing something fun. And we're going to be looking at Breloom Froslass, because I think that they're fun cards, and I'm sick of playing meta stuff.
Yeah, I do love me some anti-meta rogue.
So, our main attacker in the deck is obviously going to be Breloom. Breloom has Pre-Dawn Strike, which does 30 damage plus 90 more if your opponent is asleep. That's 120 damage for 1 grass energy, which is really, really strong. And 120 is an important number to be hitting, especially when one of the biggest Pokemon in the format at the moment is Pikachu Zekrom, which has 240 HP and a fighting weakness. So Breloom can very easily come in and for a single energy take 3 prizes, and you're well on your way to winning the game.
Yeah, and also with the help of Diancie Prism, which we play, we can also hit the second most important number, which is 140, which helps us get to a point where we can kill Alolan Raichu GX.
Certainly can, and it means that we can half hit pretty much everything in the format if we need to. 140 means we're going to be doing 280. Things like Mew Mew we can take 2-hit knockouts on as well. Diancie Prism, very important. In the list, the way we're going to put Pokemon to sleep is by using Mareep from Lost Thunder with Fluffy Pillow. When it's in the active, we can essentially just put our opponent's active to sleep, which is really, really strong. And in conjunction with a couple of switching cards, we're going to be able to move this Mareep from the active to the bench, and then use Pre-Dawn Strike, hopefully for a knockout, if not, at least for a half hit.
Yeah, and what Pokemon wouldn't fall asleep? Look at how comfy that Mareep looks.
What
there's
a
no
comfy
way,
Mareep.
There's no way you're not falling asleep after seeing that fella.
What a boy. I want to go to sleep right now, actually.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I was like, just looking at him makes me sleepy.
As we're recording, it's not late, but I mean, it's time for bed, and those fluffy pillows look pretty good. But hey, if the Breloom doesn't work out for us, we've got one of the next most powerful one-prize attackers in the format, in Froslass in the deck as well. We've got a 2-2 line of this one, and this is going to be used for its Spiteful Psy attack, 20 times the amount of damage counters that we choose to put on Froslass. We can put up to 7, which means that for a single Water Energy we can potentially do 140 damage, which, like we were saying before, is good for half-hitting stuff, but it's also really good because it's coloured blue, and the second biggest card in the format, or arguably the biggest, most popular card in the format, is Reshizard, which is weak to blue, Blake.
Yep, blue greater than red, and Froslass abuses that quite nicely.
Certainly does. So we're hoping that we pick up a couple of matchups against those two decks. Froslass obviously quite powerful. We're going to play a copy of Ditto Prism as well to help us. We've got 2 stage 1s that are going to be attacking. Ditto Prism means that we have 1 extra basic to evolve into those 2 Pokemon. As we look through the rest of the deck, it's a pretty basic one. It's pretty close to being a real budget deck. You could probably buy this for, like, if you cut Custom Catcher, we play 4 Custom Catcher in this list. If you cut Custom Catcher, you could potentially buy this deck for pretty much like $40, which is pretty impressive when you consider it. The fact that Custom Catcher's in the deck means that it's closer to 90.
Is that really how much they're worth at the moment?
4 Custom Catchers, like, it's like $13 or $14. So
they're 13 or 14 each.
Yeah, it's silly.
Oh my gosh!
And that's American monies.
Oh man.
Oh, actually, whilst you talk about it, I'll just quickly search them up on TCG Player.
Alright, but yeah, I mean the custom catchers aren't strictly necessary, but against matchups where they only play a couple of things that are weak to our Pokemon, you can bring them back up off the bench and then fully abuse the weakness by grabbing at the right one that we want.
I'm sorry, it's not $13, it's $10. I'm sorry. My apologies. So it's only an extra $40 rather than an extra $50. So that's
which, like, even still, like, custom catchers are like in pretty much every deck. I think if you were gonna invest, I think you've missed the boat at this point because
I wouldn't pick him up now.
With the next set coming out, they're gonna bring out Great Catcher, which is a well, it's a great new way to gust up Pokemon.
That's an excellent pun, Blake. I'm proud of you.
It wasn't even on purpose. I wish I could take it back.
But yeah, no, it's not worth them because Great Catch is going to do the job a bit better, isn't it?
Yeah, with the new Gust effect, like, you only really want to play catches on GX Pokemon. Like, you never really gust up a non-GX anymore, so with Great Catcher, all you have to do is discard 2 and bring up a bench Pokemon, and then I think it'll pretty much make Custom Catcher obsolete. Like, Custom Catchers, in a pinch, draw your cards, which is actually, like, severely underrated. I definitely underrated it as an option when I first started playing the card. But I think now it'll likely fade into obscurity.
Yeah, I think the key for Great Catcher when it comes out is that it's going to free up slots, because I mean, if you want to gust twice in a game, which is about the amount of time you want to gust, you need 4 custom catches, you only need 2 Great Catches, so that's probably going to free up a couple of slots, but that's beside the point. We've drifted well from what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be talking about a deck, so we'll look at the supporters. We've got 4 copies of Lily, we've got 3 copies of Cynthia, very, very traditional supporters. We've got 1 Brock's Grit, we've got lots of Pokemon in our deck that we'd like to shuffle back in and use again. And we also have 1 copy of Liza. It's like Cynthia Light and allows us to switch. Sometimes you get Pokemon stuck in the active that you don't want up there, and Liza is going to be able to get them out of there for you.
Yeah, definitely need options to switch in this deck, because, well, our entire strategy is based on putting Pokemon to sleep and then attacking with something else. So having as many options as possible is optimal for us.
Certainly is. Talking about switching options, we have 2 copies of U-Turn board. We don't play the Escape board in this deck because we don't need to get out of special conditions. It means that U-Turn board has that extra bonus effect of coming back to our hand if our Pokemon get knocked out, so maybe they decide to take out our Mareep for whatever reason, they just don't like comfortable sheep, then the U-Turn board comes back to our hand. And we also play 4 copies of Switch as well, so that we can move in and out of our Pokemon. It's weird to say, but the worst thing that can happen to this deck is our Breloom not getting knocked out. Because if it gets stuck in the active, it's a real awkward thing to take out. So Switch important for that particular card.
Yep, gotta max out those Switch counts. Just because we're not playing Jirachi, we can't play 2 things that need to get out of the active every turn. So if we want to get those switches when we need them, we just need to play more of them. So
yeah, exactly. We certainly do. The rest of the deck's actually really, really simple. Like this thing's all about just making sure that we can get Brelooms and Froslasses out as quickly as possible. We've got 4 copies of Netball, which is a really good card that doesn't see any play because Grass isn't very good, because the best deck in the format is Fire. But Netball means that we can search for basic Pokemon and Grass Energy, basic Grass Pokemon, so we can find our little Shroomishes, which, as you'll notice, are Grass typed. And we can also use it to find our 3 copies of Grass Energy as well. But for the rest of our deck, we're going to be searching just with good old Pokemon communication, help ourselves into things like Mareep and Froslass and other important cards.
yeah, I think if you've been subscribed for a long time, I think you know just how disappointed I am overall in Netball as a card, because before translations were stuffed up, it used to say, quote unquote say, Grass Pokemon or Grass Energy. And I was really excited about that, but that's not what it ended up being. It ended up being basic Grass. But yeah, pretty standard. It's basically like the Malamar engine of like search, your type specific search, and then +4 Pokecoms, because we run it on GXs.
It seems to do the job. It's not amazing, but it'll have to do. We also have 4 copies of Pokegear to help us find supporters. It'll be particularly useful to help us find Liza or Brock's Grit if and when we need them. And we also fill the last 2 slots of our deck with Acrobikes. 2 Acrobike just means we get an extra couple of cards in when we need to. It's important to thin a few cards out, and Acrobike allows you to do that.
Yep, if you ever need to draw more cards and you can't really think of anything, Acrobike is usually the first card on your list. It's a little bit better than something like Judge Whistle, because you have to play Judge for it to be worthwhile, but yeah, usually the go-to will be, in many cases, Acrobike.
Certainly will. Power Plant is our stadium of choice. It's probably the best stadium for decks that don't run Dedenne or other GX ability Pokemon. Power Plant stops things The Dene, Zeraora, Mewtwo, Mew, lots of Pokemon in the format have important abilities, and Power Plant's just going to stop them in their tracks. I would say Keldeo GX, but this deck doesn't really care about that, so Keldeo can have its ability, I guess.
Yeah, Power Plant is in an exceedingly strong place at the moment. More and more decks are just adding more copies of the Dene because the card's just ridiculous, and with the new Cherish Ball that we got from Unified Minds, there's a perfectly good reason to run more of that card. It's just a good consistency card. But we can take advantage of that by running a bunch of Power Plant, hopefully shutting those down and making our opponents who are reliant on Dead Age Change to draw cards to brick more often, like in the case of Ability Zard, or even especially like Mew Mew.
Yeah, Ability Zard really struggles when it can't use the Denes, and Mew Mew obviously struggles with Power Plant, but Mew Mew has a couple of extra ways of getting out of it. Ability Zard, when it can't use the Dene, just kind of stops, so that'll be the way that we'll hopefully get on top of them. Our final few cards, we mentioned the 3 Grass Energy already. We also have 4 of the Grass, Fire, Water unit energy. This is in order to power up both of our attackers, Breloom with Grass Energy and Froslass with Water. It's going to be an important resource. We'll have to make sure we don't accidentally misattach those. But the good thing is, we've got 7 energy and 6 attackers. So even if we have to use one to retreat, we should be okay.
Yeah, it's probably the least seen unit energy for good reason. There hasn't been very many decks that have been able to make use of more than one of those types. They usually conflict with each other, but in this case, they both cover each other's weaknesses, and they also cover probably the 2 biggest decks and types in the format. So we'll be able to make use of it fully here.
Yeah, so we'll see how we go. We'll jump onto the ladder, and hopefully we can play something that's yellow or red. Or if it's not those 2 colors, then at least have it be purple. Something that is, something that's a GX Pokemon would be great.
Yeah, hopefully Mew Mew.
Yeah, hopefully Mew Mew. Tag teams, please. The last thing we want to do is have to go up against something like Malamar, which would be absolutely horrible.
Malamar probably our worst matchup. Also, another deck that we're pretty solid against that we didn't cover is Dark Box.
Yes.
Also exceptionally strong against that deck because we run custom catches to kill Weavars, and with Diancie we can kill every tag team, including Tyranitar Sableye.
Which is quite amazing, really, the fact that can happen. Yeah,
because that card is an absolute tank.
It is a monster. And we've got the perfect start here. Yeah. You believe it's a pocket monster, is that what you were going to say?
I was going to say I believe it's 280, the total of number of hit points.
So it wasn't nearly as nerdy as mine was.
No, not at all.
Here we go.
It looks like a Nagquag. It's a Nagaquagga.
Nagaquagga.
I know it's cool. I really hope they go for the Keldeo, but because if they just go for their core strategy, then I think they can actually just sort of outpower us here. But I think we want to lead towards the Froslass line over the we'll grab a Shroomish here because we have the attachment for it. But what I really want to do is lean towards the Froslass line, just because we've got to grab a comms because we've got a Breloom in hand.
Oh, but the switch though, the switch is so important.
It's a non-GX deck that just returns energy. But the Naganadel line is actually our biggest threat here. I will come away a Breloom and grab a Snorunt.
You reckon?
Just give ourselves, yeah, for sure.
Give ourselves the option. Worst case scenario, we can use the Snorunt.
And then we can put that bad boy to sleep and pass.
Sleepy time, Poipole. Off we go. Oh, he's staying asleep. That's a shame for him.
If only he could evolve into a stage 1.
Oh. It happened.
It happened.
It immediately happened. Obviously, the Snorunt's going to be big here because if the Naganadel stays in play, then we can use Froslass to take a knockout on it, which would be pretty strong.
Yep, so just because of the numbers that we hit without hitting weakness, we need Froslass to take out Naganadels, and Breloom hits 120, which kills a Quagsire, but importantly not a Naganadel, and also gets returned by a Naganadel as well. So we really have to pick our targets here, and hopefully our opponent doesn't pick them first, because otherwise we can fall victim to custom catches pretty easily here. Our opponent's got a pretty good turn 1 here. They're not going to miss the first attack, which is unfortunate for us, but I
That's
think
okay.
we can push through here.
That's
Unfortunately, we don't play any basic orders, so Viridian's of no use to us here. But at least we can use the discard function of Viridian to thin our hand down before we for Lily and hopefully hit that Froslass line.
Yeah, exactly. We need to make sure that we get the unit energy and the Froslass here. And there's a Keldeo, so we could potentially get ourselves 2 prizes at some point. Means that's going to be a better target for us than maybe another Naganadel, but the good thing here is if we do manage to get the knockout, they're going to be a couple of turns behind because they can only attach a certain amount of energy, and hopefully it all works out for us.
The one card I'm really frightened of, potentially in this list, is Magikarp Wailord. If they are playing that particular card, then we're in a bit of strife. But if not, I think we can definitely pull this one out.
Alright, so we're going to get rid of the Lily here. I'm going to hang on to the Pokegear. Or should we just play it? Let's just play it.
I think we need to hit this turn, so I think we just play it and burn it. It doesn't even hit anything anyway, so that's fine. But yeah, we need to draw as many cards as possible, because we've got not too much dig in this deck.
Oh, we did it! We did it, boys!
And we got the backup Mareep as well, so that we can go into Breloom next turn.
So we'll chuck that Breloom away. We get the Froslass. We only have the one Froslass in deck, which sucks.
Yeah, which is even more important that we hit the com to find it, because I think we'll just hold on to the gear. Really needs to hit. So remember, it's the first attack. Yep.
Yep.
So 7. But yeah, without running the Mew or the Magikarp Wailord, I think can definitely take advantage.
Yeah, it's going to create big problems for us if that does come up. But we've bought ourselves a turn here. There's no way for our opponent to take a knockout on this Froslass this turn. They're just going to have to tank a hit and hope for the best. Means that we can potentially do some damage with Breloom. We'll need to find a switch if we wanted to put the Keldeo to sleep, though. So,
but the good thing for us is that like if our opponent wants to use non-GXs, they'll have to give up their setup Pokemon in Naganadel and Quagsire. Like, because now that they've lost their Naganadel, they have no energy recursion at the moment. So if they don't find another one, they can delay them, like possibly even a further turn. But like for us, like these Pokemon serve no other purpose. So
got the switch as well. Look at this.
That's alright. We've got okay, cool. We got a Cynthia. Slam down the Ditto and attach the grass, and then
we'll retreat into the. I think we just commit to the Breloom here.
I believe so. Yeah, because this can still swing for more. Because
we'll switch
Froslass can kill itself if you want to and do the full amount of damage. Might not commonly be known, but it can.
It can. It absolutely can. We've got the replacement stadium here as well.
Yeah,
no
we'll take away the Viridian from them. It's much better for them than it is for us.
And then hit the pre-dawn strike, and our opponent stays asleep. That's very strong.
That's very important.
Hopefully, it happens again.
That's an well, we don't. I suppose it could. Yeah, it will come up if it happens again. But you know, worst case scenario, we could probably. Actually, we don't have a supporter.
Yeah, so we definitely need that flip to happen again.
We definitely need it to happen. There's a custom catcher for drawing cards. Opponent's digging pretty hard here. They found themselves another Naganadel, but it doesn't look like they've got a way out of the active this turn.
Yeah, unless that last card's a switch or a supporter. It's a Cynthia, and they're going to have a look at a couple more cards here.
More than a couple. The real question is if they're actually playing the Switch.
Yeah,
which I'm not sure if it's. Most of these decks are just running the one-off U-turn board to put on Naganadels and use that as a pivot, which I quite like. But in this very specific odd scenario, is not very good for them.
All right, so hopefully we get ourselves in a position where they flip tails again, stay asleep. We can just pre-dawn strike and take a knockout. That would be great.
Worst case scenario, we can actually, if we got the last energy in there, we can netball for the second grass, and we can manually retreat into the Froslass. But they stay asleep.
It doesn't matter. All right. I kind of want to just hold this hand. Realistically,
I think I agree.
I don't see any reason to do anything other than that. We just hit the pre-dawn strike and take 2 prizes. That seems fine by me.
Yeah, and now we're in a really convincing spot at the moment. Now only a potential Magikarp Wailord tag team play can sort of
create problems for us.
Yeah, can pull them back into it. But also, we still haven't seen that Froslass yet, which is another problem for us.
Stuck in the 3 prizes.
Either that, or we're going to need to find Diancie soon.
Yes, we certainly will.
If we can find Diancie, then we don't need to worry about finding the other Froslass at all. It's a big Ericus for our opponent here. We've got a lot of ways to recur energy at the moment. Looks like they're just going to try and go into another Quagsire, potentially here.
Now I'm thinking next turn, I think we just hit the... we just attack with the Froslass and potentially give up a prize in order to take a prize ourselves. We'll still be 2 prizes in, or 1 prize in front, which is the key. So we want to make sure we're taking the knockout. But the most important thing is I want to get that U-turn board off of the Froslass.
Well, see, for me, I feel like rather than give up a prize for free, I think one of the only ways we lose is if we start giving up these prizes. So I feel like we should hold on to this Froslass as much as possible.
You reckon?
I feel like we should just netball for the grass attachment and then manually retreat off the Mareep if they take a knockout this turn. But they actually don't.
They don't. Okay, so
we're in business.
Now I'm panicking. What do we do now?
Well,
we could potentially just Viridian or even just replace it with a power plant.
I think we'll replace with power plant. That because there's no reason for us to ever not do that. I think I want to save the I don't know if I want to save this hand or not because I really want to find a switch.
I'm really worried about the Magikarp Wailord play.
Yeah, I think we should evolve into Breloom on the Ditto Prism and then just Cynthia. Leave the search cards because we need a comm to find Diancie at some point.
So you wouldn't even use the netball to find the energy?
No. I would rather attach another blend energy. Alright, so this is everything we wanted basically.
This is perfect. So what we can do is we can chuck this down on the Mareep because we don't realistically need it. And are we happy at this point to sack the Froslass to kill an Naganadel? Or do we just want to take out a Quagsire and go from there?
I think I really want to take out a Quagsire. I just want to hold on to the Froslass for as long as possible, and if we can unprize another Froslass here, and then use a second one instead, I'm far happy with that.
Fair enough. That seems reasonable.
We had a 1 and 3 to unprize this Froslass here.
Didn't get it.
We don't get it, but we do get an energy attachment. But this is where it's important. So we're down to 2 prizes now. So if our opponent promotes and decides to use Naganadel, then we're fine with it. We've got the Froslass ready. Yeah. Whereas if we catch up a Naganadel and then we use a Froslass to kill it and knock ourselves out, when they attack in return with another Naganadel, we have no answer. So now we can take back-to-back prizes and threaten to unprize the other Froslass, whereas before we didn't have that.
Yeah, that's fair. I think this turn we're going to be using the netball to find the energy, even just to thin the card out, because we've still got 20 cards left in the deck, 21 cards left in the deck, so we need to find.
Our opponents are massing a lot of water energy on board, which is scary for me.
Oh yeah.
I think the fact that they keep promoting this Wooper and wanting it to die makes me think that they don't want to they know they can't win the one prize trade.
They can't win the trade. They have to go for the Wailord play.
But they've just benched, so
at this point, here?
Yeah, I'm not really fussed.
We could potentially just pass. Like, we don't need to attack this Wooper here. And Spore from Breloom could potentially be a good attack to put them to sleep, force them to stay in the active, potentially give ourselves a 50-50.
Yeah.
The fact that they can't do anything if they are stuck active is really strong for us. And I think with this hand we might just do that.
Yeah, because we're sort of bricking at the moment. I think we're just going to play out both our netballs and then just Spore and just see what our opponent chooses to do. Because they don't play any cards to my knowledge, that would get them out of this scenario.
Yeah, and if we flip tails, which we did, we give ourselves. This is a free turn. We've just given ourselves. So our opponent cannot get the win off. And like you said, we want to put ourselves in a position where we're going to win the game, and the key for that is going to be finding our other customs as well.
Our opponent's also on like far less cards than us as well. I mean, yeah, they can attack with a Quagsire here.
And they can move in energy if they want to retreat, but it's, it's whatever.
They're not actually going to lose any energy at this point with 3 Naganadels in play. So it's a non-committal play to use this attack. But God, I really would like to find a way to kill the Naganadels now that they've each got like 3 energy on them.
Oh, I know, right?
Before, when they only had 1, like whatever. I'm not fussed about killing those, but okay, beautiful. There's a Cynthia.
Okay, so we can chuck down a few of these. We can chuck down the Shroomish. He's down now. Bad luck. Cynthia is away. We could have played the Diancie down. I know what you mean, but
yeah. You already caught it.
Yeah, it's happening. And now we effectively win the game.
I think we should custom the Naganadel and kill it with Froslass this turn.
You reckon?
Yeah, because let's see, they got 3, 6, 8. They can't get to how many energy do they need for that? Oh, it's not T-Tar. It doesn't.
No, it doesn't need 10.
It's 8, so we can't stop it.
No. So I'm just gonna kill this Quagsire. They can do a bunch of damage if they want. That's okay. We've got a 50-50 shot to get the Snow Run if they don't do it.
I think. Is there a benefit to? I'm just trying to think. Is there a benefit to? Let's retreat into Breloom.
Yeah.
To get rid of this fucking timer.
I think we just take the knockout. If they win, they win. If we win, we win. I think we're at that point.
Yeah, I was just trying to think if there's like if there's a knockout or a way if we were to take, we can't do it now, but if we took a knockout with like the Froslass, does that take the win with Magikarp Wailord away from them? But no, it doesn't.
I don't think so.
God, the Froslass is the last prize too, son of a biscuit.
That's okay. That's okay. We've got everything that we need. Here is the Magikarp Wailord here. So they're going to be able to use that Towering Splash to do 100 to each of our bench Pokemon, but they're only... Well, they are taking 4 prizes to win. That's okay.
Yeah.
It's over. But,
and we lost because we benched that Shroomish.
Yep, we did. Oh well, doesn't matter. If we had attacked with Froslass as well, it would have been fine. Oh no, it wouldn't have, because we would have lost anyway. That's beside the point.
Yeah, because it would have given up a prize from having attacked.
Actually, no, technically we could have attacked with Froslass and then promoted the Mareep, and the Towering Splash wouldn't have killed 3 Pokemon, so it would have been better to attack with Froslass.
Ah, okay, yep.
But that's okay.
There was a scenario, so there were 2 ways to not lose the game.
You were right.
And we picked a way to lose the game.
We picked the only way to lose the game. That's fine. But you can see just how good the deck could potentially be. Like, the fact that we took it pretty much to the very end against Nagquag, which is in itself a very, very strong 1-prize deck, is it's pretty good for a deck that costs maybe $50.
And we played poorly.
Which is becoming a staple on the SAbleyes. We can actually... I'm going for the end of the game. We've actually got enough time to play a second one.
I was gonna say, I didn't feel like it was a very long time. I feel like we could probably go for a second one. But...
Well, here I am getting. I was used to playing bloody terrible stall, so I was like, oh, we played 1 game, it's over. And those colours on our opponent's deck box look pretty good for us. It could potentially be Blacephalon or even Ability Rushy. So I'm happy here.
Yep.
I reckon we just chuck down Ditto, maybe.
Yeah. That's like the most neutral answer. It's not one way or the other. It's not.
We're not committing to anything.
It's not strictly wrong. And then I think we might as well just double bench. I don't see the.
I'm just gonna hold them. If they stand by us, they stand by us. Blacephalon. This is an interesting matchup because it's got all the problems of Nagquag, except Froslass can take 2 prizes.
Yep. and we can cool.
Cool.
It doesn't do anything in the case of Pokecom, but I hate not playing Search before I play like cards that draw cards.
That's fair enough. I can understand that.
Even though for the case of Pokecom, which I'm not used to playing with because I didn't start till after Pokecom rotated out, it doesn't change anything as far as probability because you shuffle in the Pokemon that you would search out.
All right, what do we got here? I'm thinking we're gonna drop this netball down, grab ourselves another Shroomish.
I think we should comet away from a Reap.
You reckon? And then retreat into the Mareep?
That's strong. But we don't have
with
search
nothing
for
to do
Froslass.
afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, let's just grab the Froslass and hold it. Because we're actually dead drawing, so this might make our opponent want to stamp us, and I think we might.
We've got to attach to the Ditto just in case they don't kill it.
But no, I wanna touch the blends because they're hard to find. So I wanna make it so that it's as likely as possible, and then we power plant because they run the Dene and Naga GX. So if we take those, they haven't played a stadium yet, but I mean, in this case where their abilities are used to draw cards, we can't play the stadium in a proactive way.
That's
unless they've already played a stadium. And there's the Naga GX. So if they've got nothing, and they don't, and I'm exceptionally happy with this because that means the chance of them holding B strings and away to another. We can just retreat into Froslass and.
Oh, I missed the retreat button there.
And then we can evolve into Breloom, and then could potentially draw one with Custom Catcher, but I'd rather not.
I feel like we kind of have to. We have to draw cards eventually, but
we're gonna take 2 prizes here, though.
That's true. That's true. How much damage do you want to put on this?
5.
5? You sure?
5 times 2 is 100.
5? All right, sounds good.
I did it.
Maths.
Stay in stool.
Hey, Cynthia.
Stay in stool. Stay in school.
Stay in stool, people. Stay in
Learn
stool.
your English and how to pronounce stuff good.
Yep, I'm gonna speak nice.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. When
Blacephalon doesn't play any cards, they've got B-string in hand, right? That's the
yeah.
the
When
rules.
when Blacephalon's bricking, it's because they're holding B-string. That's right.
Yeah, I can't believe you forgot that. I can't believe you forgot that critical piece of information.
I was going to say they're also probably playing the Psychic Energy because everyone is now that World is over.
Yep. But hey, the positive here is there's not a huge amount that our opponent can realistically do next turn.
Yep. They're entirely... The scary part is if they get supporters of this prize, or the top deck, then they can still use B-String.
That's true. I'm thinking we promote Breloom here, because worst case scenario we can attach and Spore, best case scenario we can switch, retreat, attack. I think that's probably the best thing to do.
I think that's fair.
Oh, that's disappointing. I would have
That's
liked that.
poorly timed. We want you after.
I would have liked that
Cynthia.
after the Cynthia. I'm going to play the Poke Gear because I don't really want to get into the Poke Gear. I don't need the Lily.
Post Cynthia. Damn it.
It's okay. Now we're only looking for 3 cards. Oh my god, that was so close. That was ridiculously close to just being them.
We hit everything but the Mareep. We hit multiples of everything but the Mareep.
Yep.
It's crazy.
That's okay. Whatever.
Let's slap the U-turn board on the Breloom just in case we get stamped for some reason because they're probably gonna kill the active.
I really don't like that. That seems like a bad play, but sure. That's sure.
Trust me, I'm a doctor.
Alright. Well, hopefully, Dr. Blake, it doesn't fall apart.
How many B strings could they possibly have? Oh, that's a different bad
That's
thing.
a different way of accelerating energy.
Oh boy.
Oh. Oh, jeez.
Oh,
that's
boy.
another one.
They're gonna retreat into the baby in the Ganadon. It's gonna be so bad. Because it's super effective at dealing with Brelooms. On the plus side, We get our U-turn board back.
We do.
Stamp us. Stamp us. Prove my point. Please stamp
Please
us
do
and
it.
prove my point. I want to be right.
Nope,
Oh.
it's not happening. I'm promoting Snowrun. I'm going to take a knockout this turn. I'm a brave boy.
Yep, you are a brave boy. I believe in you.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Wowee.
Goodness. We're going to chuck that on there.
Yeah, because it's going to die.
Cynthia? What do you reckon?
Yep. It's definitely Cynthia.
Because like we could like retreat and then switch. And...
We need a Pokemon and a Calm, or just the Froslass. And we need the Calm. Give us a Calm. Custom catcher. Gust and Prey.
That sounds fine to me. Hello, Poipole.
Looking real stranded, didn't it? No. Retreat into like Ditto or something. It's a precious blend.
We need that.
We have switches to burn anyway. We can force them to Venom Shot this way if they want to take the knockout on the Snowrun instead.
Yeah, exactly.
Ha!
Eric
What
is for
a bad
3.
Eric is. Idiot. Oh no.
Oh wow.
Oh come on.
Alright, well I wasn't expecting that.
Nope.
That's okay. We get the board back again.
Yay.
That's gonna be fine, because watch this.
Oh.
Watch this.
Why? Switch.
Watch this. Watch this, Blake. It's gonna happen.
Mr. Switch is the most important card of the deck. Burns 2 switches for no reason but to thin. And misses! Oh, he almost missed. Holy crap. We are out of Frostlasses now, though. So, we are in Trouble Town. 7.
7.
This will be a great time for you to have internet problems and make us
And us
re-record.
do another game. Do you know what the worst
No!
bit is? This Poipole does 10 damage.
No! Oh, why? He just slammed it down too.
He was not interested. Oh dear. Top deck Marie.
That's good.
Is it though?
It's not great. It's good. Shuffle. Give us something. Oh lord. We can come from a reap on the Breloom.
It's cool. Hoping for the best. Hoping for the best. Let's hope for the best. We can't even switch. This game is over.
Okay. Venom shotting again. They're probably going to take that Diancie.
That seems fine. They could have taken literally anything. Well, we should have just left it at the first one, Blake. I was right the first time to quit.
Hmm.
What a Debbie Downer. That's really sad.
But to make it better, we can always open up that pack and rip something. Come on,
pack.
let's salvage the video. Salvage the video.
All
We're
right,
gonna rip something good off that.
We'll open one pack. What was it? Lost Thunder?
No, it was the. It wasn't. It was the Unified Minds. Now we get to open 2. Do we get something good?
No.
I'm not sure. I wasn't sure if there was a time delay and you were reacting prematurely to the
I'm
pack.
just. Oh, reward chest. Hey, do you remember when this card used to get played?
Yeah, it killed Rayquaza. That was a cool card with
What a time.
with choice bands.
Come on, give me my bad card. Ooh.
That used to be played
That
in
used to be
Malma.
played as well. There you go. I'm not gonna open the.
No,
Unified
no, you
Minds.
didn't open the Unified
No, I'm gonna keep it.
Minds
I
pack.
can use that to trade for more jank to build bad decks. I need them.
No, this is a good deck. Remember, just for the people at home.
That's true. Well, and hey, here's an interesting thing as well. If you're still watching, I put together in my spare time a version of Breloom, which costs like $25. So like, if you are a person that is looking to get new people into the game, This is like...
I'm a person.
I'm a person as well. This is a list that is effectively like the same as the one that we had before with like a few changes. It doesn't have custom catches because they're ridiculously expensive. It doesn't have Cynthias because they're also quite expensive. And it doesn't have things like Acrobike because weirdly enough, they're also like $4 each. So instead I've just kind of cut it back a little bit, put an extra Snorunt in. We got Judge Whistle, a couple of judges. Like this might not be a bad way to start a new player out. If you want to make it even cheaper, you can replace Power Plant and put in Slumbering Forest. You can even potentially get rid of Diancie if you don't want it, but that's like a $2 card. So.
And hey, if you want to broaden your matchups a little bit, you can also add cards like Hoopers if you've unpacked them from Unified Minds to give yourself a solid chance against Malamar. Really solid card at combating that. And also Tapu Fini if you want to really solidify the Blacephalon matchup. As you can see there, Froslass didn't cut it there. The Naganadel line was able to deal with us quite effectively, even when they were bricking. So you might need the help of a card like Tapu Fini to help get you over the line in that matchup as well.
There's lots of ways to go with it. It's a really, really good deck to start off with.
And those cards work well against plenty of other matchups well. They're just particularly effective against the ones I mentioned as well.
Yeah, so, yeah, if you have watched all the way through and you've got some mates that you want to kind of get into the game, this might be a starting point. I'm not saying that it's definitely the best way to go, and they might not win a huge amount of games competitively, but, you know, it's $25, you know, like, you could buy a carton of milk, or you could buy a Pokemon deck, so, milk's $25, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought so. All right, thanks.
I mean, it's cheaper than well for us at 10, but I suppose if it's in US then it's slightly cheaper than that. But still, like I would rather buy a playable deck than a 10 with one promo card in it.
Yeah, exactly. So if
you've got
the choice and you've got access to TCG Player or Troll and Toad or whatever it is, this might be the way to go to get started. But anyway, we've meandered off topic long enough. Thanks, Blake, for coming and experiencing this with me. I'm not going to say enjoying it because losing games is never fun, but we had a good time.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too. So it's always nice having you, Blake. And thanks to everyone who has decided to watch all the way through to the end. Thank you. If you like the content, please consider subscribing. Click the SAbleyes in the middle of the screen. On the left-hand side, we have some videos that YouTube thinks you'll like. And on the right, we've got our Unified Minds playlist for more decks from this particular format. Thanks, everyone, for coming along. Recommend this deck to your mates if they haven't played Pokemon before. $25 is no money at all. Play it. It's good fun. And we'll see you all next time for more from the SAbleyes. Bye.
Bye.